Libra. Welcome to Scorpio Soul Time. I hope you all are doing well. Welcome to your mid-May through mid-June career tarot reading. This is where we're going to look at your finances, your job. Where is it that you could want to make a shift or just level up in your resources? This is a big time as we have two major planets changing signs, which only happens like once a year for Jupiter moving into Cancer, and every 2 years Saturn now is moving into Aries. So this is all big big movements. We've been saying all of 2025, but this definitely is a special time here at Libra. And I do think that we have another planetary alignment when we have Mars in Leo squaring Uranus in Taurus at 28 degrees. So this is going to be big because Uranus literally within the next few months is now going to be moving into Gemini once we get into the summer. So big movements all happening towards like the very end of a degree and the very beginning of a degree. So let's get right into it, Libra. If you haven't already subscribed, I would love if you would. Perfectly free for you. All you have to do is hit the subscription or the subscribe button, and you can hit the bell to know when I upload new content. All right, Libra, let's get right into it. You start off mid-May. Hierophant energy there. Taurus energy. Major arcana in reverse, as well as the death card. Scorpionic energy here. This could be signifying that Scorpio full moon that we just had mid-May. Then you have the Eight of Wands coming into the end of May, as well as the star card. So Aquarius energy. This could be pointing to that Pluto energy that we also were experiencing with Pluto going retrograde in May. By the time we move into June, Four of Wands in the reverse, as well as the Ace of Wands. By the time we get to mid-June, here you go with the Seven of Pentacles in the reverse, possibly planting some new seeds. And the Four of Swords in reverse. Watch your health, Libra, by the time you are getting to mid-June. Now let's go ahead and ask Spirit to send you a card representing the energy that you bring into mid-May. Where is it that you have possibly been dealing with a theme around your finances and job back in April? Spirit, if you can send my Libras a card. And you have the Queen of Wands. So the Queen of Wands is that card of really knowing what you want, being able to go after it, choose it, and then say, you know what, this is going to be my mission. So I do believe many of you all Libras back in April have been having some ideas of what it is that you want out of your career, want out of your resources. I do think many of you all have been coming into some really good alignments. And if you haven't, just know that they are on the way because you have a lot of positive cards here. And I do think that one of the things about Queen of Wands is knowing what you want, knowing how to go after it. And I do feel like there's going to be a lot of uptick of you being in the spotlight during this time. I do think that Taurus and Scorpionic energy is really big because that is the financial axis. So we will get into that as we go week by week, but let's pull an Oracle message card. Spirit, if you can send my Libras a card representing the energy that they could be dealing with during this time. And you have the Queen of Pentacles again. And I will tell you, I shuffled the cards well, but I will tell you right before this, Virgo also received the Queen of Pentacles, but in the upright. So I think it's interesting that we have this and we have this Queen of Wands here. And so it does feel like this mature energy of being able to know what you want. And you will definitely have some money resources that could be being held up during this time, but know that they are on the way, and know that whatever you put your attention to, it is on the way, Libra. So that is really good to see for you, those two queens. So let's go ahead and go week by week. What I was saying about that Scorpio full moon that we did have, I think it was on May 12th. This reading is going to start on the 17th, but I do think this is a good thing to mention because the Sun and moon here in Taurus and Scorpio at that full moon could have highlighted something that comes up for you around the 17th through the 20th of May. The sun is conjunct Uranus in Taurus on the 17th, and we have the sun entering Gemini on the 20th. During this time, there is some kind of theme around where is it that your money, your resources, your job, possibly if you are a entrepreneur, if you have clients, there's something here that needs to come to a emotional end, meaning like you are not vibing or you're not emotionally feeling connected anymore to whatever this organization was, whatever this overarching entity was. And I do think that this death card is also showing you where you have been needing to purge out some reality, something that you have been kind of ignoring during that time, and that Scorpio full moon could have brought it up. And I do think that the sun entering Gemini on the 20th could make you more in your head about thinking about it. So really figure out what it is back in that Scorpio full moon time that you were dealing with. And if you are one of these people, Libra, who had events come up but you're not quite sure what it was connected to, you can always check the description box below in any of my videos, okay? All right, now by time we move to the 24th, this is one of the major days of the month. Saturn enters Aries. Remember, Saturn has been in Pisces for the last 2.5 years, and it will stay here until August 31st and then retrograde until 26 when it will come back into Aries. Now, I will tell you, this is going to be big government, organizations, stock market kind of conversations going on here. And you have this star card, which is Aquarius energy. And remember, Pluto did go retrograde in Aquarius earlier in May. So I do think that this Saturn entering Aries, Mercury entering Gemini on the 25th, and we have a Gemini new moon on the 26th. So I do think that this star card is representing some of that air energy that's coming in with Gemini. But those 8 of Wands, now that is, that's a lot going on, Libra. So be careful not to be overcommitting to people. Make sure you're focusing on yourself, not just the group. Remember, Aquarius likes to be around community, likes to be helping, but I call it the superhero complex because you really need to focus on yourself before you can help others. So just make sure you're looking at that as we come into the end of May. By the time we get to the 30th of May, we have the sun conjunct Mercury in Gemini, more communication, maybe too much communication. I do think that's what that is actually pointing to, is all of that Gemini energy from like the 25th until the 30th. It's like the sun, Mercury, you know, the Gemini new moons, you have the sun and the moon. That's a lot going on. Just be careful of doing too much, okay? So by the time we move into June, Libra, here we have the 4 of Wands and the Ace of Wands. So this is a lot of passionate energy, a lot of communication, but I do think there's something here with you and a partner. This could be like romantically at your home, but this could also be like business partnerships. There's something that comes to you in a very fortuitous event could occur here at the beginning of June. This is when we have Venus conjunct Chiron in Aries, and then Venus enters Taurus on the 6th. I do think somewhere around here on the 8th, when Mercury is conjunct Jupiter in Gemini, this is benefic conversations and opportunities. So be prepared for something big coming, Libra. This really feels like something you've been waiting on. This could be results from a test. This could be you applied for a job and you finally hear back from the recruiter or from the hiring manager. There's something really great here. And if it's not happening to you, it could be happening to your partner, or you could receive some news back that wasn't necessarily what you were thinking, but opens up an opportunity later on. So I do think this is really going to be positive for you. And I do think that by the time Mercury enters Cancer on June 8th, this could also open up family conversations. Remember, Mercury entering Cancer is like family life, home life, and that's definitely what this is looking like right around June 8th. So really pay attention to those communications that come in. And you all have a lot of wands, Ace, 4, and 8 of Wands. So this is like picking up of communication. So it may be a lot for you. And I do sense that by the time you get to mid-June, really watch your health, Libra. That Four of Swords in reverse, we do have a Sagittarius full moon on the 11th. But before we get to that full moon, we have Jupiter entering Cancer. That's the next huge event of this time. Jupiter has been in Gemini for the last year. So now Jupiter entering Cancer is a lot of focus, movement, a lot of energy focus towards your family, your home life, how you're feeling about emotional security. And that Seven of Pentacles in reverse, I do feel like you all have been emotionally spent on really working on something that is not moving as quickly as you would like. This could be an entrepreneurship. This could be a client who said they were going to pay you and you still haven't received those funds, or something slow moving that could come out at that Sagittarius full moon on June 11th. And then by the time we get to the 15th of June, Mars and Leo squares Uranus and Taurus. So this is tension. Like I was saying in the intro, it's like family, work balance could be really hard. And also on the 15th, Jupiter in Cancer squares Saturn and Aries. This is a really big event because we have not had Jupiter in Cancer or Saturn and Aries here for a very long time. So this is going to be a shift for our whole planet. And so I do feel like if you can take a break from things, that would really be beneficial right there in the middle of June, because it does feel like there's a lot of pressure going on during that time. So I hope this was helpful for you, Libra. You will have a big 30 days coming up. So pay attention to who you're meeting. Pay attention to who your spouse or partner or business partner, what's going on with them, because I do think there's a lot of connections there between you and your spouse or you and your business partner. So I hope this was helpful for you, Libra. Take a look at your sun, moon, and rising signs, and I'll talk to you later.